When God marks a set of days on the calendar of heaven, nothing on earth can cancel what He has ordained. And I came to announce to you prophetically that the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th of December 2025 will not be normal days. These days are spiritually coded. They are divinely orchestrated. They are saturated with instructions, miracles, alignments, and supernatural releases that have already been authorized in the unseen realm. Something is shifting in your financial atmosphere. Something is moving in your spiritual jurisdiction. Something that has been held back is about to break into your reality. There are moments when heaven leans close to the earth and whispers destiny into the ears of the chosen. There are moments when God pulls your name into a divine meeting and issues a decree concerning your harvest. And these 5 days, marked by heaven, carry a decree that your life will not remain the same. You will attract what you could not earn. You will receive what you did not expect. You will step into what you could not have orchestrated on your own. This is not motivation. This is divine notification. God is announcing a financial miracle, and all He requires from you is the faith to hear the prayer that activates it. One encounter with the anointing can shift the trajectory of your household. One divine moment can overturn years of delay. One instruction from the throne can unlock a supply chain of supernatural provision. Prepare your spirit, align your faith, position your expectation. Because when God designates a time, He also designates a provision. These December dates are portals, windows, gateways where heaven's economy intersects with your obedience. Something will be released, something will be restored, something will be revealed. And if you dare to believe, if you dare to receive, what enters your life in these days will set the tone for the next decade of your destiny. When God marks specific dates on the calendar of heaven, it is never accidental, coincidental, or symbolic. It is intentional, strategic, and highly spiritual. These dates become portals of divine activity, charged with supernatural energy and angelic movement. When God declares that the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th of December 2025 are not normal days, it means these days have already been discussed, resolved, and recorded in the courts of heaven. The shift that will occur is not something God is planning. It is something God has already finished, waiting only for you to step into alignment so manifestation can begin. These dates carry the weight of divine timing, and divine timing is always connected to divine transformation. A financial season does not shift because of human effort alone. It shifts when heaven initiates a new cycle. It shifts when God releases a new decree. It shifts when angels are dispatched with new assignments concerning your provision. These December days represent a supernatural intersection, where your faith meets God's timing, where your obedience meets God's intention, where your expectation meets God's preparation. Within these days, something in the unseen realm is unlocking. Something that was delayed is being accelerated. Something that was stagnant is being stirred. You are being drawn into a prophetic moment designed to break old financial patterns and establish a new order in your economic and spiritual life. When God identifies days as extraordinary, it means that the veil between the natural and the supernatural becomes thinner. Instructions become clearer. Discernment becomes sharper. Opportunities become more accessible. Doors that once resisted suddenly recognize divine authority and open. These dates carry a vibration in the spirit, a frequency of abundance that your spirit must tune into. They are days that activate destiny, days that demand awareness, days that require preparation. God is shifting not only your money, but your mindset, not only your resources, but your reach, not only your income, but your influence. These December dates have been anointed as days of divine reset. They mark the end of a financial wilderness season and the beginning of a supernatural supply season. The hand of God is repositioning you to receive what was always yours by covenant. Heaven is announcing a financial shift that no earthly system can block. Your steps during these days will be ordered. Your decisions will be guided. Your path will be illuminated. These dates are containers of miracles, holding blessings that are about to be poured into your life. A supernatural instruction is never given randomly. It is always connected to a divine outcome. When God sets apart days like the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th of December 2025, He does not simply mark the time. He embeds within those days specific instructions that carry the power to shift your financial atmosphere. Divine instructions are spiritual keys, and keys are only necessary when a locked door is about to open. These dates carry instructions because heaven is preparing to release access, movement, and manifestation into your financial life. These instructions are not meant to be analyzed through logic but received through revelation. They are spiritual directives that position you to participate in what God has already orchestrated. Every breakthrough is preceded by an instruction. Every miracle is triggered by obedience. Every shift is activated by a divine directive that aligns your actions with God's intentions. There are moments when God does not ask you to understand, He asks you to respond. Supernatural instructions demand spiritual sensitivity because they often come at unexpected moments. They may arrive as a whisper in prayer, a nudge in your spirit, a sudden idea, an unusual prompting, or a direction that seems small but carries great impact. These December days will be days of heightened spiritual communication, where God releases instructions designed to unlock financial acceleration. What you hear in these days will guide what you receive in the days that follow. There are financial doors that only open when you follow a specific divine instruction. There are resources that only appear when you move in obedience. There are opportunities that only manifest when you align with the timing and direction of God. These supernatural instructions are not suggestions, they are assignments. Each one carries the authority of heaven. Each one contains the blueprint for a financial shift. Each one is connected to a change in your environment, your decisions, your opportunities, and your spiritual posture. These instructions might challenge your comfort zone, stretch your faith, or require you to release something in order to receive something greater. When God is preparing you for a financial miracle, He gives you an instruction that tests your readiness, refines your discernment, and deepens your capacity to receive. These December days will not pass without heaven speaking. The question is not whether God will speak, but whether you will hear. The question is not whether God will move, but whether you will respond. Within these days lies a divine blueprint that links your obedience to your overflow. What God reveals to your spirit in this time frame will function as a spiritual map, guiding you out of old limitations and positioning you for new financial territory. Miracles do not manifest in ordinary environments. They manifest where spiritual alignment has been cultivated. When God declares that miracles will accelerate in the lives of those who are spiritually positioned, it means that these December days carry a divine velocity that responds to readiness. Miracles are not random acts. They are spiritual events that occur when faith meets divine timing. These 5 days are charged with a supernatural speed, a momentum that moves quickly, breaking through barriers that once seemed immovable. For miracles to accelerate, there must be a level of spiritual posture that welcomes divine involvement. Because acceleration is not only about receiving, but about being prepared to sustain what arrives. Spiritual positioning is not about physical location, but internal calibration. It is about aligning your heart, mind, and spirit to the frequency of heaven. It is about elevating your expectation, quieting your distractions, and engaging the spiritual realm with intention. When your posture is right, your atmosphere shifts. When your faith rises, possibilities expand. When your spirit is tuned in, you can sense movements others overlook. These December days are not normal because the supernatural realm will be exceptionally active. And only those who are spiritually alert will catch what God is releasing. Alignment becomes the magnet that draws what heaven is sending. Miracle acceleration means what once took months will happen in moments. Delays will dissolve. Obstacles that stood for years will collapse without resistance. Prayers that felt unanswered will suddenly break open. Acceleration is the signature of a God who has stepped into the timeline of your life with intention. But acceleration does not occur in the presence of doubt, fear, or spiritual passivity. It requires engagement, hunger, and expectation. It requires you to declare what you once hesitated to believe. It requires you to prepare for what you have not yet seen. When your spirit stands in the right place, miracles find you without you chasing them. These December days will function as a spiritual catalyst. They will stir dormant faith, awaken prophetic awareness, and activate divine possibilities. The supernatural will not operate quietly, it will operate boldly. You will feel shifts in your spirit, sense movement in the atmosphere, and notice signs that heaven is leaning closer to your life. Miracles will accelerate for those who are spiritually positioned because positioning determines reception. When these days arrive, those who stand in alignment will witness breakthroughs happening with unusual speed. They will experience prayers answered before they finish speaking them. They will see financial pathways opening without struggle. They will watch God move in ways that rewrite their expectations. These days will activate a momentum that carries you into a new dimension of financial grace and divine intervention. Financial doors do not open simply because you desire them to, they open in response to prophetic timing, divine alignment, and spiritual authorization. When God marks a moment in time, heaven's economy becomes active, and doors that were once resistant begin to recognize the divine mandate attached to your life. These December days are not just dates on a calendar, they are prophetic intervals where God's timing synchronizes with your destiny. Financial doors respond to timing because timing determines access. When the appointed moment arrives, what was once denied becomes permitted. What was once delayed becomes released. What once seemed unreachable suddenly becomes attainable. There are financial doors assigned to your name, but they do not open prematurely. They open when you step into the season heaven has ordained. Divine timing is the currency of the supernatural. It governs breakthroughs, accelerates miracles, and organizes opportunities. Many people attempt to force doors open in the wrong season only to find frustration instead of favor. But when God announces that these 5 days carry a prophetic time stamp, it means the season of struggle is shifting into a season of supernatural acceptance. The doors that resisted you before will not resist you in this appointed moment because timing has changed the spiritual atmosphere surrounding your life. Prophetic timing also rearranges the environment around you. People who overlooked you will suddenly see you. Opportunities that ignored you will begin to seek you. Rooms you could not enter will begin to pull you in. Timing carries a gravitational force that draws resources, connections, and favor into your orbit. These December days bring a divine synchronization that causes everything assigned to your financial destiny to align at once. It is not coincidence, it is spiritual orchestration. Heaven is adjusting the timing of your life so the right doors open without delay. Financial doors respond to prophetic timing because the spiritual realm governs the natural realm. When God speaks a moment into existence, angels are deployed, obstacles are dismantled, and pathways are cleared. This timing releases a supernatural ease where what was once hard becomes simple, and what was once complicated becomes effortless. It is in these moments that financial doors swing open because they are commanded to respond to the voice of God. These December days carry that kind of command. They carry a divine authority that instructs closed doors to open and blocked opportunities to release what they have been withholding. As these days approach, your spirit will sense a shift. You will feel a pull toward what is yours. You will notice signs of alignment. You will recognize that the timing of God is unfolding in real time. Doors that remained shut for years will respond because prophetic timing has been activated over your life. When God begins to break cycles, He does not start from the outside. He begins in the unseen realms where patterns, limitations, and spiritual barriers have been operating against your progress. Financial cycles are not just economic conditions. They are spiritual patterns shaped by past experiences, generational influences, personal beliefs, and unseen resistance. When these cycles remain unbroken, they create repeated seasons of lack, delay, stagnation, and missed opportunities. But when God declares that these December days will disrupt the cycles that limited your financial growth, it means heaven has issued a divine interruption. What once repeated will no longer repeat. What once blocked will no longer block. What once restrained will no longer restrain. Cycles operate like invisible boundaries. They keep you moving but never advancing. They allow effort but deny results. They let you dream but frustrate manifestation. Breaking cycles requires spiritual intervention because these limitations are not merely circumstantial. They are rooted in spiritual realities that must be dismantled by divine authority. These December days carry an anointing to break long, standing financial barriers that your effort could not break. They represent a shift where God steps into your financial story and rewrites the narrative. The season of going in circles is being replaced by a season of forward movement. When financial cycles break, opportunities that were once blocked begin to flow. Resources that once slipped away begin to stabilize. Ideas that once lacked support begin to attract favor. Connections that once remained distant suddenly become accessible. The breaking of cycles is not just deliverance, it is repositioning. God is not simply removing what hindered you. He is creating a new pattern, a new rhythm, a new flow. These December days carry the power to reset your financial trajectory, aligning you with abundance instead of scarcity, growth instead of stagnation, overflow instead of resistance. Breaking cycles also involves breaking internal patterns. Fear, doubt, hesitation, and small thinking often reinforce the very limitations God is trying to remove. These days will confront mindsets that kept you trapped in old financial habits. You will experience clarity, boldness, and renewed confidence. Your thinking will expand, your decisions will sharpen, and your spirit will rise with new expectation. As cycles break externally, cycles will also break internally, creating space for new levels of prosperity. These December days serve as a divine turning point. The spiritual resistance that once held your finances hostage is being overruled. The patterns that kept you tied to old outcomes are being severed. The unseen forces that manipulated your results are losing their grip. You will step out of repetitive defeat and step into sustained advancement. What once circled in limitation will shift into a path of continual progression, opening the way for fresh financial movement and unrestrained growth. Divine connections rarely appear in ordinary moments. They show up in divinely appointed seasons when heaven is orchestrating movement behind the scenes. When God announces that these December days will bring unexpected connections, it means relationships, alignments, and partnerships that were once hidden are about to emerge with purpose. Divine connections are not casual encounters, they are strategic placements. They are people assigned by God to accelerate your destiny, open financial doors, and push you into the next level of your calling. These connections carry keys, access, insight, influence, and opportunities that you cannot reach on your own. When the season shifts, God begins to draw these individuals into your path in ways that defy logic and exceed human planning. Unexpected connections are often the result of spiritual positioning. God aligns the right people with your journey when you step into the timing He has ordained. These December days will function like a magnetic force. drawing individuals toward you who carry the resources, knowledge, and authority to help activate your next season. Some of these connections will come through conversations that seem random, yet they will unlock answers you have been praying for. Others will appear through opportunities you didn't initiate. Some will arrive through people who have been observing you from a distance, waiting for the signal that this is your moment to rise. God uses divine timing to bring divine relationships. There are people who were assigned to your future long before you ever knew you needed them. They have been prepared, equipped, and positioned by God to intersect with your destiny at the exact moment your season changes. These December days are not normal because the spiritual alignment taking place around your life is creating openings for these individuals to step forward. They may carry wisdom that shifts your decisions, access that changes your trajectory, or support that stabilizes your progress. Divine connections are never accidental, they are heaven triggered partnerships designed to activate breakthrough. These connections also break isolation. Sometimes financial stagnation is not due to lack of ability, but lack of alignment. You are not designed to rise alone. God sends people who see what you carry, believe in what you are becoming, and contribute to what you are building. As these days unfold, you will recognize faces that carry familiarity in your spirit even though you've never met them. You will sense confirmation in conversations that feel ordained. You will feel a pull toward people who align with your purpose. Every connection released in this season will serve a strategic role in elevating your financial life. These days will bring introductions you didn't expect, opportunities you didn't chase, and relationships you didn't initiate. They will confirm that heaven has gone ahead of you, preparing alliances that lift, strengthen, and open doors that were once beyond your reach.